So we've all heard that Thai food is great, but I think there's a few things when it comes to Thai food besides the food itself that makes the Thai food experience a lot different than everywhere else in the world. In today's video, I'm gonna cover a few of those and why I don't think any other food, at least for me, will ever be the same. Now, having to do with the food itself, after being here for a year, that really sets Thai food apart, especially from Western food, especially from American food. It's something that I actually learned when I was a bartender. One of the fundamentals, the thing you do have to know with bartending and how to make a good cocktail in general, is all about balance. Mixing sweet and sour is the main one, but when it comes to food, there's quite a bit that translates when it comes to salty, to savory, to umami. Thai food, especially a lot of the traditional stuff, is really good at doing that. They essentially want a little bit of almost every type of flavor in one dish. It's sweet, it's salty, it's spicy, it's umami, it's a little bit of everything in one dish. And that's just really good at giving your taste buds every little thing that they want. And this has to do with most dishes. A lot of the stuff, especially in the West, it's either savory or it's salty or it's sweet. There's no real mixtures. I mean, I think the closest thing we get to in the States is like chocolate covered peanuts, but Thai food always makes an effort to mix a bunch of flavors and have them all balanced. So you go on essentially a roller coaster ride every time you go through a Thai dish. You take one bite, you get a little salty, you get a little sweet, you get a little bit of everything. And I think that's one of the biggest things that sets it apart. And especially if you're coming from the West, this is probably something that you're not used to. But let me tell you, most Western food will not be the same afterwards. One of the main talking points when it comes to the biggest differences between Thai food and Western food that you're gonna hear in every single video, you guessed it, spicy. Now in general, most of our food in America is not really gonna be spicy. Some people think that if you put too much pepper on your steak, it's spicy. And I'll tell you that is much different in Thailand. Now sometimes these videos can kind of make it seem like every single Thai dish you get is gonna be spicy and it's gonna blow your socks off. I'll be the first to tell you that's not true. There's plenty of dishes that don't have any spice in them, but it is one of those things that they do lean on quite a bit. Now at the same time, it's not gonna be like one of those crazy hot sauces that your buddy feeds you and doesn't tell you about what it is, where it's just dummy hot, it tastes like crap. That's not really something you have to worry about. Everything here that is really spicy at least has something on the back of it, so it kind of evens it out. If it's really spicy, it might be sweet, or you're getting a lot of stuff that might be really sour, but it's spicy at the same time. So it's a little bit easier to manage. So even if you don't usually enjoy spicy foods, I definitely recommend that you give something a go. If you do have a favorite dish that is a little bit spicy that you think somebody might be able to ease their way into some hotter stuff, feel free to drop it in the comments down below. I've got a couple that are my favorite. Thai style green curry is definitely one of them. It's usually not spicy, especially if you're a foreigner ordering it. They won't put any spice in it, but traditionally it's got a little bit of a kick, but it's made with coconut milk and other things as well, so it kind of evens it out. So if you're trying to hit like an entry level when it comes to spice, that's definitely one I would recommend. Another major difference, one that I for sure had to get used to, and honestly I wasn't too crazy about it at first, has to do with portion sizes. Now in America, we are definitely spoiled. If you look at American fast food compared to even the same chains in other countries, the serving sizes are wild. We are used to sitting down for those big hearty breakfasts that keep you full for the next 8 hours. In Thailand, they generally eat a lot different. Portion sizes are a lot smaller. Buying one or two things that are really small at the markets and cruising around and getting a bunch of different things are kind of the norm here. So don't expect to go out and order your lunch, and if you just get one thing, it'll keep you full for the rest of the day. It's more than likely that you're gonna be hungry again in a couple hours, but this is generally just kind of how Thais like to eat. That's why street food culture is such a thing here. They're used to just eating a little bit all day long. And personally, when I first got here, I wasn't too crazy about it. I felt like I was never getting enough for my money. but after a while, it gives you the opportunity to try more foods. And if you are really enjoying Thai food, it gives you more excuses to eat throughout the day. And no matter what, you will get used to it and you'll learn kind of how to structure your meals around it. One thing about food in Thailand, there is one thing that can be a hindrance for some people. It doesn't really affect me, luckily. That's if you're on a strict diet. Now, a lot of places, if you are on a strict diet, it can be a little bit harder to find things that you can eat, especially if you're vegetarian, vegan, anything like that. There are a few options, but when it comes to just stuff on the streets or in the markets, vegetarian and vegan especially, it can be very difficult to find at least whole meals that are available to you. There's always gonna be snacks and things like that, of course, but if you're trying to order dinner or anything like that, this can be a bit of a pain. But after a while, of course, just like anything else, you'll learn what you can eat, what generally has, you know, fish sauce, or maybe is cooked with broths and some other animal products that you might not be looking for. So that is one thing to be aware of if you are on any of those diets. Sometimes it can make things a little bit more difficult, but that's not to say that there's nothing available to you. Major difference that has been one of my favorite things about Thailand food. If you are a seafood person, Thailand is your place. Now, I came from a landlocked state in America, so not only was getting fresh seafood hard, it was pretty much impossible. The definition of fresh where I'm from is overnighted, frozen, so fresh-ish, but not fresh in all reality. For reference, one night I went to a seafood place here when I had first gotten to Pattaya, and I believe I ordered tuna, and I asked them if it had been frozen, and it blew their minds. That's just not a thing here. Seafood is a huge part of most Thais' diets, so it's getting sold as fast as they can bring it in. There are tons of seafood-only markets here, so if you like to get down on some fish, you are definitely in luck. It is very easy to find the freshest seafood, no matter what you like, and it is readily abundant. Another great thing that comes with that, since most of these Thais have been cooking fish their whole life, they know how to cook it. I don't know how many times I've paid for a $30 salmon steak in America and it's overcooked, and it just makes it disgusting. If you are a seafood connoisseur, you'll know that overcooking seafood is the worst thing you can do to it, and it'll make it horrible. Don't really gotta worry about that here. Now, probably my favorite thing, maybe the biggest difference between food in America and food in Thailand, is the appreciation and the service that you get when you go into a restaurant. Now, I understand, trust me, as a former bartender and everything in a restaurant, I know that tons of people in America are underpaid, and that can make it really hard to put on the cheery smile when you're at work all day. But in Thailand, a lot of these places are family owned, so they appreciate every single customer. They know that their service dictates a big part of whether or not people are gonna want to come in there and eat again. Now, I know there will be some sour pusses in the comments that are just like, oh, well, they're just being nice because they want your money. Well, yeah, what's a better reason to be nice? That's better than getting crappy service from people that still want your money, right? So whether they're doing it for the money or not, I don't care. It's refreshing to walk into a place and feel appreciated for going in there and spending your money. Unfortunately, a lot of the times that's just not something that you get in America anymore. So long story short, as long as you have an open mind, you're willing to try new things, you're willing to walk into some restaurants that honestly might look a little shady from across the street, I think you'll really enjoy your Thai food experience, and hopefully it broadens your horizons a bit, definitely like it has mine when it comes to the culinary arts from across the world. As always, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Tempus TV. This has been a crazy month. I want to say hello and thank you to all the new subscribers. You guys have been doing awesome. I really appreciate it. We're about to break that 10K mark. That is crazy to think about. Honestly, when I first started, I wasn't sure we would ever get there, but we have, so thank you so much. We have some awesome stuff lined up for the next week or so, so if you haven't yet, make sure you go ahead, click like on the video, click subscribe. That way YouTube knows that's something that you want to see. And like we always say, I hope you guys have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.